Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of Zero to App. There's probably not anybody actually listening to this at this point, but we had a really good reception last week. I got like my first 100 subscribers off that one video, so I'm very, very pleased with how that went. If you are here, if you could let me know if you can hear and see me, that would be great. If not, then we'll just assume that that's the case and continue on. But if you were here last week, you saw that we had an issue uh, with Lovable. It just randomly stopped working for some reason. So we had to finish. We had to stop basically. So what we're going to do today is continue on with that. And I found a way to get a better prompt for the challenge that we were having with the app that we were developing, the Ai Doppelganger app. So before we get started any further, I'm just going to send a notification out to everybody on Facebook. So hopefully we'll get a few more eyeballs here. But other than that, yeah, we'll get started in just a second. And I'm just going to continue on as if there's a million people watching because, Clip Mix says hello, boss. Hello, Clip Mix. And it's looking like doing these on Saturday is going to work better than Sunday. Pardeep says, "Hey Chris, hello Pardeep." Yeah, let's try it here as well. I don't know if this is going to work, but no, I didn't even put the link in the comments. Damn it! No wonder. All right, 1 second, guys, and we'll get started. Janiel says, "How are you?" I'm good. How are you? Hope everybody's having a fantastic Sunday. Now, the one of these I did 2 weeks ago on Sunday absolutely slayed. It got like 13,000 views, which is good. So we'll see. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get started. So let me share my screen. We'll do a quick recap so you know what I'm talking about, and then we'll just get started. So, God, that's a terrible capture. Last week, where is it? Started building what is this? An AI doppelganger, basically a thing that would interview you and learn all about you and your business. So you could then use that to create content that talks and sounds just like you. And we ran into a couple issues. One, Lovable just stopped working for some reason. But the other one is, you can see we assigned it to a domain because that was one of the technical issues we were having last week. But we assigned it to a domain. But one of the non-tech issues we had was that it was these are supposed to be separate interviews, and it was using them all in one. And then there's some UI stuff that we need to clean up too. So that's where we're going to start. Now, what I'm going to do, and hello, Neffies, is go back to the original conversation that we had. And I'm finding that I can get really, really accurate prompts that give me to feed into Lovable and probably other AI tools to, I don't know, to make it work, to give me the best possible output and make the fewest mistakes. So what I did was I started using ChatGPT 03. I haven't tried 04 or 04 mini high yet, but this one uses advanced reasoning. And then what I'm also going to do is use the the deep research filter, or whatever you want to call it, feature, to give us a better prompt to fix the issue. So basically what we're going to do is talk to it and get a better prompt. So I'm going to say Lovable is creating the conversation in the, is it 4? 6. The 6 separate prompts as one conversation, which isn't what we want. We want 6 separate interviews, but have it seem like one with separate stages that will move on to the next one when it has all the information that it needs. Please research the best way to structure this to get what we are looking for, and give me a prompt for lovable that will achieve it. Search the web and any other resources you need. Let me go fix my typos. I don't think it matters, but I spell separate wrong every time. What else can I give you to achieve this? Now, usually it gives me some follow-up questions in this mode, so we'll see. Should users see a clear indicator like a stage title? Yeah. I don't. Let's see. Allow them to continue. Would I like? Yes. Before you come up with your answer, please make sure you understand how much of the app we already have done, and that this isn't an initial prompt. Hey, everyone saying hey. Yeah, I probably should have fed it what the app looks like. So we'll see what it gives. Now, the downside to this is that this takes a lot longer, which is unfortunate. So I'll take that time to say, hey, Nafiz, hey, Mohammed, hey, Keith, hey, Rizwan SEO. There's your free plug. But what's cool is you can actually see what it's thinking about. And I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit of a fight to get it to understand where we are. But we'll see. Another thing I should mention is that Lovable has actually pushed out a new version since then as well. And one cool feature that it added is chat. Now, if you were here last week, you know that I had to keep telling it to not do anything, to just give me the answer. Well, that's kind of what chat is. So there's that. And it's got some other new features as well. And it's definitely, it seems like it's gotten a little bit smarter, which is the real important thing. So let's see how this is going. You see, it's kind of it tells you what it's thinking. And I used this this technique earlier this week to one shot. I added I have this tool called Brand Signal AI, which is an AI like rank tracker, And I added a feature to it. Let me log in off camera to it on Friday. And I got it to work with a single prompt by using the method that we're using right now. And I'll show you what that is here in just a second. So basically, I'll just create a campaign. Oops, new campaign. Let's do something really obvious. McDonald's. Brand name, McDonald's. Domain, I assume their domain is mcdonalds.com. I'm just using that because it's just generic. Now, the feature that I added was the prompt engine. So basically, instead of choosing what prompts you want to track, you can just click generate prompt. And then what this is going to do is use a combination of OpenAI and Google Trends to suggest some prompts that you might want to track. So we'll go fast food restaurant. Restaurants is another word I always spell wrong. I didn't even get close enough for generate suggestions. For some reason, I'm getting this error. It's like even though there is no error. So I'll fix that at some point. You see that, and it generates the prompts for you. I created that with a single prompt from using the method that we're using today. So you can just select that prompt and create campaign. So, and then you can run the results. I had some other features too, but those took extra prompts. So anyway, just wanted to show how effective that can be. And plus we have time because this is still thinking. I'm really thinking that I didn't give this enough information about what we had already done this. So we may have to take another crack at this. And by the way, thank you for the tremendous support on this new channel. I already have 100 subscribers, 102 now. And the first video did very well. 759 views for a brand new channel is fantastic. So thank you for your support. All right. So we're only about halfway there. I don't really know what to do to kill time until that's ready. So if anybody has any questions or anything, let me know. Right now would be a great time. This will be easy to edit out. Yeah, but otherwise we're just going to have to sit here and wait for that. So it is what it is. I don't know what else to say right now because it's doing its thinking. And I have a feeling we're going to have to feed it something else to get it exactly right. But, this is what we're doing. So this is the process. So, yeah. I hope everyone for those that celebrate, I hope everyone had a lovely holiday. Ironically, well, never mind. I spent the day with my family, which is nice. I don't do that very often. Jason says, "What are you building?" Just joined. So what we're doing is we're building a AI Doppelganger. What this is going to do is interview you to learn everything about you, your tone of voice, and your business, and its message, and all those sorts of things. And then you can use those to create either a custom GPT or I think Claude calls them projects, to make content that sounds just like you. So you can, and honestly, it makes content that sounds more like me than I do, if that makes any sense. So, because I've done this manually and I'm just building it into an app. So that's what we're building today, Jason. We're getting there ish. So if you want to check out Brand Signal, you can. I'll drop that in the chat. No hard pitch or anything. I'm really just trying to kill time until that finishes thinking. Shannon says, "Hey everyone, hello Shannon." Let's see how far we've gotten. Losing track of it. All right. Well, we're getting there. Cool. Thanks for sharing. I'm interested. Thank you. Thanks for joining in. I'm sorry that we're in this part where we can't really do anything because this does take a while, but I want to show the process, and this is the process. I've made quite a. If you want, you can go review my previous video. I've made probably 10 different tools this way now, projects now. This is by far the most successful one, but yeah. I really feel like it didn't review the entire chat first, and I have a feeling we're going to have to do this again, which is frustrating. Because it's like it's organized. We already did this. It seems like it didn't think to review the chat, and I should have told it to do that. So we'll see what it gives us, though. Oh, and it's done. All right, so let's see what it gave. You see how in depth this is? So let's see what it gave us. Designing an AI on your app, 6 connected, designing in progress. Did you incorporate the prompts to generate the interviews that I had already given you? Did you review our chat at all? Now, why are you giving me? See, it does this sometimes too. I don't want code. I want a prompt. I don't want code. I want a prompt for Lovable to achieve this. Please pay attention and stop forgetting. Oh my God. Bro, seriously, just turn that code into a prompt for Lovable. Why are you being dumb today? No, Jesus Christ. Pardon my language. No, it isn't. Pay attention. You gave me a prompt from your deep research, but you did not include the prompt for questions that I gave you. Give me that prompt with those included so I can update my app. I've not seen it be this stupid before. I swear it's dumber on Sundays. No, man. Oh my God. And we're going to have to do deep research again. I asked you this. And you gave me this. But you did not include the prompts for the specific interviews, which I gave you earlier in this chat. I think I did. Yes. If I use what you gave me here, it will break the app. So incorporate those and pay attention to this entire chat so we stop wasting time. Just structure from the want to structure from the refactor prompts. Confirmed. That was irritating. Hopefully it gets it right this time. Does everybody understand what I just did and what I had to go through to make sure it gets that right? I know this is like a lot of pre-planning, but we want to. The more of this you do, the less like going in circles, fixing errors you'll have to do. Yes, understand. Good. This has turned into a more complex project than I anticipated. If I had it to do over again, I would have done it as four separate interviews instead of a single chat. But, this is where we are now. So can you explain it in detail? It, I mean, it would have made more sense if you were here the first time. But basically, I gave it specific things that I wanted it to say for each of the different types of interviews to build the clone or the doppelganger of us. Where is it? Yeah, see, I gave it 6 specific things it did, and it like ignored everything we had talked about so far, and instead just gave it like new prompts. And then I told it that, or I asked it that, and it did. It just went off the fucking rails. Basically, it just started giving me actual code that I don't need, and then I told it no, I need the prompt, and then it just like gave me some basic information. And I said no, just turn that into a prompt. Why are you being dumb today? And it still didn't get it, and gave me whatever the fuck this is. And I was like, it's just being dumb. And then so I had to go back to using deep research and a really in-depth prompt, which is what I'm doing now. And then once it's ready, eventually, assuming that it stops being dumb, I will feed this into Lovable and update the existing app. Why is it reading? Oh, Jesus Christ. Where are you getting? I don't know why it's being so dumb today. Oh, I see. Okay. At least it seems to be going a little bit faster than last time. Um, I don't really know what else to say in the meantime. I can usually fill these awkward silences with like something to say, but I don't really know what to say at the moment because we're just kind of waiting on it to catch up. So there's that. Interestingly enough, the search process, it's interesting to watch it think because it like criticizes its own thoughts. It's very odd. Yeah, I hate saying here silently, but I really don't know what else to say. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully, it'll get it right this time, and we can move on to the more interesting stuff. What got you into vibe coding? I just saw about it on Twitter, and I just tried it like for small things, and then I one night I was like, I forget what it was I even needed, but I was like, I need a certain thing, and I tried to do it, and one thing led to another and led to another. All right. This one has definitely been more challenging than I expected it to be. I would not have started with this if I knew it was going to be this much of a hassle. But, you know, live and learn, right? All right, we're getting there. We're about maybe 60% of the way there. Hopefully, it gets it right this time. If not, we're just going to go on without this. Not much of a turnout today, but that's okay. Oh, come on. You don't. It this isn't going to work. I don't think it doesn't seem to understand that we've already done a lot of this. I should have like shown it or something. But I don't know. It's usually not this dumb. Getting there. It really feels like it didn't read the rest of the conversation, though, from what I'm seeing in its thinking, because it seems like it's like starting from scratch, which is very frustrating. Because I've told it several times now to review the entire conversation, and it just I don't know why it's being difficult. It's usually not like this. We're already 40 minutes into this, and we haven't even started coding yet. It already has a idiot thing. Sorry about this. I know this is not particularly exciting, but you can at least watch it think. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that better, I guess. I really don't think that it's going to give me what I'm looking for, and we're just going to have to go kind of wing it. But this is still the right way to go, especially if you're starting a new module, so or a new app. So I'm hungry. I mean, it would have been easier to code, but I don't think it would have been a better user experience. The idea was for this to be a single chat and then this to be a single chat, but it seamlessly passed them off. But it just doesn't seem to understand that. It would have been easier to code for sure, but I don't think it would have been a very good user experience to have it like start over each time. For whatever reason, ChatGPT is trying to reinvent the wheel today. Come on. It didn't take as long. This isn't taking as long as it did that time. That time it took hours. Usually takes about 5 minutes, but this is. I guess this is a bit more complex though. Should finish any second now. Usually, like the last chunk, it just the whole thing at once. So hopefully, it gets it right. I'm not optimistic from the things I'm seeing in its thinking though. Almost there. Finally. All right. Let's see what we got. Holy crap! No wonder it took so long. Building a generator. Hmm. Why isn't it still ignored the prompts that I gave it? I don't understand why. All right. Well, what I'm going to try to do is feed it this prompt and see how bad it fucks it up, just so you can see what happens. And then we'll just undo it if it works, if it doesn't work. I have a feeling this is just going to destroy it, though. You need the actual text. Oh, I see. It just didn't bother to put them in. All right. Well, at least that's something. So we'll just go back up here and get them. And this is a lot for it to process, so it's going to have to think for a minute. Not nearly as long as we just sat through, though. All right, so now it's implementing it. So hopefully this goes better than I was anticipating. Because we've already been here for almost an hour and we're basically just starting. So hopefully this does a pretty good job of it. This is feeling more and more like it's going to be a three-parter, though. Or maybe we'll just abandon this one and go on to a new one next week. We'll see. I would take a poll, but there's really only about 4 people here, 3 people here. It doesn't show me LinkedIn numbers, though, so there may be more. If you're still with me, let me know. I really hope this doesn't wreck this too badly. Shannon says here. Reminds me of being in school when they would like take attendance at the beginning and you have to raise their hand and say here or present. Let's refresh this to get that ridiculous look off my face. 103 subscribers now. Thank you. This is taking a while too. I wasn't expecting that. But I guess this is a fairly complex rewrite that it's doing. So I just really hope it doesn't mess it up too badly. While we're, we're there. Interview process, asking folk, generating documents. Here, header. Let's see how bad it fucked it up. All right. Let's bring up the preview. Right? Create your doppelganger. Okay, well, this is not exactly as user-friendly, but we'll see. Can you share your name? I'll zoom in so you guys can see better. What is your professional identity or title? Why is it asking that? Upbringing, key values, and so on. All right, let me see if I can find where I initially created this so I can answer them the same way. All right, well, we'll just wing it because I can't remember exactly. Let's see. I grew up in North Myrtle Beach to a hard-working single mother. What are your key influences and inspirations? Influences and inspirations. I already see a UI problem. See how it keeps pushing it down? So we'll have to fix that later. But my mother. I'm just making stuff up now. Background and knowledge areas. I have a master's degree in public policy and a bachelor's degree in information technology. Spelled that wrong. Your main areas of expertise. Why are you... This doesn't seem right. It's still giving me professional questions. Why? I don't know if it'll be able to interact like that. No, see, it's still not right. This still isn't right. It is blending the prompts and not doing the interviews separately. Let's start with the personal, I don't know, what was it called? Personal identity interview. Use this prompt and only this prompt for the conversation when the user is at the personal identity stage. And let's go up here and get prompt number 1. Now this will give me a chance to show the chat feature. Do you understand what you are doing wrong and how to fix it? There are several issues with the current implementation. Here's update the prompt for stage 1 to include the complete prompt you provided, which covers all the flow to be more conversational. Update the stage questions. You mean? All right. So now that seems like a reasonable explanation of what it's doing wrong. So what we do now is turn off chat and tell it to implement the plan. And I was able to find my original answers. So that will help. All right. Now, try to fix it. Also, how do I put this into dark mode? That's much better. And if this it still doesn't work, we may have to just give up on this app because that happens sometimes, right? Sometimes not every idea is good. All right, let's see what we can do. And then also, I found my original answers to these questions, so that'll help, hopefully. Why is it doing that? What the fuck? All right, well, let's try it here. See, it's already wrong. Where you were born? Okay. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Where were you born and how do you feel about your birth? I don't remember it. I grew up in North. All right, so this seems to be on track, actually. I wish it would show up in the tab because this is going to. That's why I wanted it to show up in a fucking tab. All right. Okay, good. It worked that time. And tell me where you were born. I wish it wouldn't combine questions, but anyway, I was born in Binghamton, New York. We moved to SC when I was a baby. North Myrtle Beach specifically. And quite an experience. You share. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So we'll just copy this answer. I think this may have worked actually. How did the cultural diversity and influx of tourists in North Myrtle Beach shape your values and outlook on life? I don't know. Hard to say, but I guess it taught me how to accept different types of people and be part of a team. There's some UI problems here because this pushing it continually down the page is going to have to get fixed, but that's not a big deal. The valuable lesson of being culturally environment. Moving on to influences and inspirations are the people, experience, or philosophies that have. Yes, so we'll go ahead and grab those people. Are there people, experiences, or philosophies? Yes. And yes, I'll just get elaborate on which of these influences are now they've been. I tried. These influences are how they've impacted your life. A mother worked hard and always taught me that you had to handle your responsibilities even when you didn't want to. And these are not like the most thorough answers that I would give, but because I'm just trying to see if this is working. So far, it's looking pretty good. Emphasis on responsibility sound like how lessons influenced your approach to challenges and opportunities in your life. They have helped me to do what I need to do and not get distracted by easier things. That's not a great answer. Again, just trying to get through it. Education and knowledge. Can you share some of your formal or informal learning experiences? I have an associate's degree in computer programming, ironic considering what we're doing, a bachelor's degree in information technology, and a master's in public policy. I'm going to start skipping questions here in a minute. I just wanted to see if it stays on the right track. And so far, it seems like it is. It's an impressive educational background. Influenced your career path. Yeah, I think this is on the right track. So I think it got it right. Let's just skip to the end. Skip button doesn't do anything. All right. that seems to have worked. So what we're going to do is publish. All right. And I'm going to do one more of these, and then I'm probably going to end it there because we're already over an hour, and it looks like it's going to take a few more hours to get through and because the testing is so long. But you can check it out for yourself as well. Give me a second here. Let's see. Now let's do the creation. Use this prompt and only this prompt. Do you understand what you are doing? Let's say, do you understand? Do you understand? Chat. So really, all that time that we took to get the prompt right from ChatGPT, I think that did actually end up being helpful. Implement the plan. And after this, I'm just going to publish, and I'll let you guys test it if you want. But I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera because it's just going to be, I'm getting a little lightheaded, to be honest. And it's going to take quite a while, but I think we're on the right track. And then I'll record everything else that I do and make it into a video on this channel. Plus, there's nobody else watching anyway. But you'll be able to check it out at aidoppelganger.ai. And kind of follow along as I progress. I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera because that could literally take hours upon hours. And we're already at an hour and 10 minutes. But we made some progress, so that's good. And I think we're on the right track now. We just got to go through and do this for every prompt and then clean up the interface. And I think we'll be good to go. There's not anybody left watching. There are 5 people watching. I guess there's a few. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts or anything before we wrap this up here in just a second or two? Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for the wonderful reception that this channel has gotten. Be on the lookout for continue a video that wraps all of this together. And that might take a while because this is going to be a lot for an editor to piece together. But yeah. Let me know if you have any questions before this finishes up. And I'm going to do the rest of it off camera because it's going to get tedious and I'm kind of getting lightheaded. So, yeah, once this finishes working on what it's working on, I will publish it and we will call it a day. All right. So I don't really know a good way to test this, but yeah, I can't even jump ahead. And the skip button doesn't work. So that's something I'll have to fix. But all right. We are good to go. Thank you all. I'm sorry that we didn't get to finish it yet, but I think we're on the right track now. And I just have to implement the rest of the prompts and then clean up the interface. And it should be good. So I'll do all that. I'll record all of that. and put that into a video along with the steps that we've taken thus far. So that's it. If you please subscribe, do all the things. I'll see you next week. Hopefully next week. I'm out of town next week. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do that, but I'll try to do it next week. If not, I'll do it when I get back. Otherwise, I'll see you again soon. Peace.